Lights, camera,
Rolling.
action.
Welcome to my podcast, Let's Talk About Verticals, a place where secrets are spilled, stories unfold, and the mysterious world of verticals is revealed in all its glory. Behind the scenes, oh yes. Exclusive insights, absolutely. Eccentric characters, you bet. So pull up a chair, pour yourself something suspiciously strong, and prepare for a conversation you didn't know you needed. So welcome to the podcast Let's Talk About Verticals. And now, let's talk. Hello and welcome to my podcast Let's Talk About Verticals. Today it's a bit podcast to podcast or podcast to an actor or maybe podcast to a bit of German guy. I got informed that he lived in Germany, so I have to check out if he already speaks German a bit. But there is a lot to talk about, and I'm very happy that he joins me for this episode. And I'm saying hello to Buzz Leer. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Podcast to podcast.
Podcast to podcast, halfway around the world. So I'm loving that idea.
Yeah,
That's pretty
but
cool.
you told me that you lived in Germany. So
Well, I didn't live there. I lived there 4 times a year, depending on when I went to the factories. But I had factories not far. I don't think not too far from where you are.
yeah,
I worked for a
18
company.
kilometers. Yeah,
That's right. Bad. I forgot the name. What did I say the name of the town was?
Riedling.
Yeah, that's it.
Or it was an der Weinsteige. There is the other one.
No, it was Bad. It was a Bad because they had the baths. They had the baths there.
To be honest, we are not so detailed with the baths. You know, the towns with the baths feel so important.
I know they're always very important. They were very proud because I worked for a company, and your German listeners might know I worked for Sillet Cookware.
I have a lot of Sillet pens and stuff in my kitchen.
I'll bet you do. Yeah, the Sillet. Listen, the Sillet Cookware is to me the best cookware in the whole world.
Do you have Sillet Cookware at your home?
I can. What you want to see right now?
Yeah,
I can show you. Hold on.
Yeah, do it. Ooh. That's good. Okay.
There it is, right there. My Sillet.
Made in Germany. Look at this. Made in Germany,
guys. Right there. This is
one of my favorite.
One of my favorite pots of all time is this.
Can you cook?
Right there. I can. Yes, I can. I can cook, and my kids are all really good cooks. And
I published a cookbook. You know.
Oh, very cool. That's very cool. My daughter has published a couple of cookbooks.
No, I have published one.
Nice.
But it's in German. Do you understand German?
I not much of it. When I was traveling over there, which was a number of years ago. So when I was traveling over there, yes, I was able to pick up a lot of it, learn a little bit of it.
Yeah.
You know, not much, but I could kind of fake it for a little bit. But I spent
big question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever been to the Oktoberfest when you were in Germany?
I've been to the Oktoberfest and
Cannstatter Vasen, for sure.
Yeah, and then my favorite thing was going to the Christmas markets. The Christmas markets I went in. Where did we go?
Maybe in Nuremberg. Did you go in Nuremberg?
I didn't go to Nuremberg. Stuttgart. I did. Yeah. I went to the market in Stuttgart. And I went to a Christmas market in Berlin as well.
Yeah, we have it all over Germany.
And it was fun because when I lived in Chicago, it's actually where I regrouped and started my acting career over again in 2015.
Yeah,
I lived in Chicago for 8 years. There's a German Christmas market in Chicago that is it is almost an exact replica of the Christmas markets in Germany. It's so beautiful, and it's downtown Chicago. It's beautiful.
When I recorded with Cayman Cardiff, it was near the Christmas time, and came and said,
Okay.
"Oh, I want to go so badly to Germany to the Christmas market." He told me that in Utah there is a Christmas market, a fake one, Chris Kindle's market from Nuremberg.
Yeah.
And he said
really?
he liked that, in Utah, but
Yeah.
he wants to come over to Germany for the real ones,
Well,
and I
he's
said,
right, because
feel free.
I mean, it felt good to go to the one in Chicago, but it was after I had been to the ones in Germany.
Okay,
so
so
it was
no.
like, for many years. But they did a good job. I gotta tell you, for being on American soil and being an American, produced festival and Christmas market, they did a good job. They really did.
Okay.
No, they had the good food. They had the schnitzel,
the mullet
and they had
wine.
the mullet wine, and they had the glühwein, and they had the potato pancakes, and they had all everything. They had all the fun stuff.
Then it's good. Then it's really good.
Yep.
No,
it was
because
good.
Richard Scherer was already on German Christmas markets. He told me, because he has a friend in Leipzig, and he said to me he wants to come back and wants to do a Christmas market tour with me.
Oh my gosh!
I said, feel free. I think I have to organize some travels, for all the vertical stars who wants to join Christmas in Germany. We will make a travel group or stuff to come over.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
that would be fun.
Exactly.
I'm sure that would be fun. So, Buzz.
Okay. Yes.
You are a bit in the actor business. As you said, 2015.
Yeah.
How did you end up being an actor?
It's a long story. The podcast doesn't have enough time for, but where I am, I'll just let you know. I started my career as an actor. I was an actor in college. I didn't step on a stage. There's a lot of kids and a lot of these guys that were high school kids and theater kids and all that stuff. I did not do theater until I actually got to college. And it was actually by default, because I went to college at the University of North Dakota. Yeah, how about that? Up in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And I went to college there. And my freshman year, one of my instructors, I was taking a humanities class or something. I just remember how I first got the bug for theater. We had an option at the end of the year. We could either write a paper, which would add for our final exam, or we could audition for a show that he was directing. He was also a director in the theater department. And he said, if you get cast in the show, then you don't have to do a final paper. Like,
that's great.
So I thought, I'm going to audition for this show. I had no idea what that meant. So I auditioned and I got a role in this play. And it was a Moliere play. It was Doctor in Spite of Himself. And it was a beautiful play. And I just thought, wow, I like this. This is great. I was in this play and we were on stage and we did it. And I just got a real bug. And I just kept going. After that, it was like, well, I'm auditioning for this.
You were addicted after that.
I was addicted, and then I made my what was I was majoring. My major at the time was speech therapy or something, and I changed it over to theater arts. I immediately jumped into what they call the Bachelor of Fine Art, the BFA program, which is a Bachelor of Fine Arts program, and I jumped into that, and that's what I got my college degree in, was a Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting and directing, with a communications minor. So when I got out of college, I went to do summer theater, like a lot of us. I'm a 21-year-old kid. And so I actually got cast in a show in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, of all places. So I went out to Jackson Hole, and I would spend my summers in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And then I would come back to Minnesota, where I grew up. And there was a theater in Minnesota called the Chanhassen Dinner Theater. And I worked at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, and then at just some other theaters in Minneapolis where I was living. And then a couple of years later, after doing that, I got the bug to come to California. So that's what I did. Came out to California and hung my hat here, and tried at that time to get into the acting world, which was difficult. And I actually ended up with a job in sales. I met my wife, my future wife. I met her. We had a baby, and I thought, well, I better get a real job. So I got a real job. This acting stuff is like, it's not real.
Too unsecure.
too insecure. And when you had to make a living and you got a baby on the way, it was like, oh boy, I better do this. So I got into sales, and I actually turned out that I was really good at it, and I really liked it. And I really didn't look back until much later after my kids. Then we went on to have 4 kids. So I've got 4 kids. And once I got beyond that, that's when I really stepped back into the acting world. Was in 2015. I was living in Chicago. I was on my last corporate gig in Chicago, which was for a big company called Lennox, because I was in the giftware, housewares, home products category. That's where Sillet came in, and WMF, if you remember WMF, cookware, another big company. So I was with a couple of big companies like that throughout my career in sales, and I decided to just pack it up and be an actor. And I called my kids and I said, guess what? I'm done with corporate America, and I'm gonna be an actor. This was 11 years ago, and I've never looked back. So that's
it was like
really
you called your kids and said, you are financially cut it off because I don't know how good this acting stuff will work. So
no, I'm very fortunate. My kids are very, very self-sufficient, and they've all got wonderful families. They've got great spouses.
Okay,
and
that's great.
And I've got grandkids. So I mean, what can I say? So it's good.
So when you got back to acting, what was the first thing? Did you start it again with theater, or how did you?
I started in theater. Yes, my first instinct was to go back to what I knew, and in my prior years, I had not done a whole lot of television before that.
Yeah.
It's funny because there was a brief moment in 2004 that I thought, well, I'm going to start doing a few more things. My kids were in high school, and they were starting to, one had already graduated from high school and the others were in high school, and I had some time. So and we were living in the Bay Area, living in San Francisco at the time. So I got an agent in San Francisco thinking, well, maybe I'll just dabble in this. My career was still sales and marketing. So I was doing that, but I thought on the side, I'll just see what I can do. So I got an agent, and I got a couple of gigs. And then one day my agent calls me and says, hey, there's this new network. This was in 2004. There's a new network called HGTV, Home and Garden Television, HGTV.
Yeah.
Is big. And they're looking for a host for a new show. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. And my agent said, if I remember right, you're a carpenter, right? Don't you know how to build? And I go, yeah. Because I learned how to do a lot of building growing up and stuff. So I said, yeah. So they go, well, the audition is you have to build something on camera. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I brought my toolbox. I brought a bunch of stuff with me, and I built this like wall, and I had to talk about it during the audition. And I had 20 minutes to stand there and build something and tell a few jokes and interact with the casting people that were sitting there. And I finished that, and they said, thank you very much. And I moved on. Well, like any audition, you just you finish the audition and you just forget about it because you just don't want, it's like, whatever. Well, all of a sudden, 2 months later, literally 2 months.
2 months.
2 months later, I get a call, and it's the guy from the studio, and he goes, hey, this is Steve Edelman with Edelman Productions, and HGTV wants you to be the host of this show. I said, what? Yeah, they want you to be the host of this show. It was called House Detective. And I so then I went on to fix houses. I fixed houses on TV for 5 years. We did
really?
Yeah, I did 65 episodes of House Detective. That's what I did. So
I have to look that up. Can I watch these shows somewhere?
There are a few episodes that are up. I mean, it was so early. This is 2004. There was not a whole lot, and it ran until 2010. So there's a few episodes that are out there. You can find them on YouTube, I think.
I will look
There's
it up.
some episodes out there, but called House Detective, and I was the host of the show, and that's what I did.
Was it kind of makeover show or what?
Well, no, it wasn't a makeover. It was that what we did was it was a half-hour show, and they had, our production crew had a whole team. They would go out and scope these homes out. They were actual homes that homeowners had to write in and say, oh, we have a budget of $5,000 and we have to repair our patio and we have to do this and we have to do that. So what we would do, we would match. If they said they were going to invest $5,000, we would match that and give them another 5 and then make it a bigger project. So we would go into their house, and I would go into the house and walk through the house with an actual house detective, with a home inspector.
Oh.
So there was a home inspector and myself, and we would go through the house, and we had predetermined. We would pick 3 different things that we were going to fix.
Okay.
And the 3 things were, the first fix was going to be something that anybody that could pick up a hammer or a screwdriver could do. Like if you needed to put in a dimmer switch on your wall, that's easy. The next level was my level, because I was the handyman. So if I wanted to put in track lighting or do like a ceiling fan or a garage door opener, something that a homeowner could do if you know what you're doing. And then the next level, the third level was, nope, don't touch it. You better call a contractor. This was replace a toilet, replace an entire, gas line in your house, or a whole, breaker box in your garage or something like that. That was like we brought in an expert to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So we had those were the 3 levels of fixes on the show. And that's what we did. And so the first day of shooting, we would shoot us walking through the house, determining what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
The second day was actually doing the project. And we literally had 1 day to shoot the project and finish it. So it was wild. It was a wild scene.
So you already got used to the paces.
Yes, I was just going to say, talk about fast pace. The verticals have nothing over this kind of stuff, especially when you have like a couple hours to replace an entire deck, But it was interesting, because we would bring in the crew would bring in 15 guys, and they'd be ripping out the deck and put in the deck. Well, you never put that on camera. The only thing you saw was me putting the last nail or the last screw in there, going, "Wow, that was."
So
hard.
then you looked like the big hero who
I looked like I could do anything out there. It was nuts.
That's good.
It was nuts, but it was good. That was good. It was a fun show, and it ended. It ended in 2011, but we ran 5 seasons, and we had a really good crew.
That's
and
great.
It was the same camera guy and the same sound guy and we were a family. I mean, we literally were a family on set for that. And I had to quit my job. I mean, it was a full-time job. So
I assume that, but if it makes fun.
Yeah, this was even back before they had digital. This was all shot on tape. This was all shot on cassette tapes in the camera. I mean, all. Yeah.
The equipment was a bit more, you want to say?
Yeah, a bit more. It was pretty crazy, but it was a lot of fun, and I did that. And then after that ended, I actually went back and did more sales and marketing, and built my career back over there. And then in 2015, jumped back into acting again. So that's what I did.
2015, going back to the theater.
Yep.
Because you missed the atmosphere and the direct connection to the audience?
Partly, but it was also that I knew that I wanted to get into film and theater, or film and TV. I knew that I wanted to go that route. But in order to get just my presence and my acting skills back, I immediately took an acting class. I auditioned for theater in Chicago, and I got in a couple of plays. I became a member of a small. Chicago is loaded with all these little, what they call small black box theaters. They're these small little theaters that hold 75 to 100 people. So they're very small audiences, but the quality of the theater is unbelievable. The actors and the actresses, everybody is really class, A-class actors. And so I joined a small theater group up in what they call a little town called Edgewater, which is just a suburb north of Chicago. And I did a lot of theater with them. It was called the Red Twist Theater. Shout out to Red Twist. They were a great group to work with. Red Twist Theater. And then I did my favorite show that I did is I did get to do a show at the Goodman Theater in Chicago, which is a big Broadway type theater. And I did Enemy of the People, that was directed by Robert Falls, who's a very famous director, stage director. And then all during that time, I was taking acting classes on camera, and I auditioned, and I got roles in all the Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, all the Dick Wolf shows that shoot there. I did get guest starring roles in a lot of those shows, and shot a few films. And then eventually, I was actually going to head back out here to Los Angeles before the pandemic, but then the pandemic hit, And so I was fortunate that I waited until like I started. What happened is I got a recurring role. Here's what literally happened. I was going to move out here in early 2020.
Yes.
So I auditioned for this TV show called Next, Next,
Yes.
and the star of the show was John Slattery. From Mad Men. I don't know if you know that name of an actor, but he was in a series called Mad Men, and it was a recurring role. I was very grateful and excited to have this, and it was a Fox network show. So we shot 3 episodes of the show in January of 2020, and then we all know what happened. The world shut down. The world shut down, and they never went back and finished that show. And with the pandemic, I stayed through all of 2020, and I stayed out there again in 21 because things were still kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I came back out to LA. I moved out here permanently again in early 2022, January of 22. That's when I came back out here, and then restarted. And I restarted my career, and I had a couple of really good agents and good managers here in LA, and it's been great. It's been great.
And when did you first connect it to the vertical space?
My first vertical was in April of 23.
Yeah, okay.
It was the first vertical I ever did. I had no idea that it was a vertical film. I thought, well, I've got this little role in a film. It was like an independent, non-union
Do you know the
film.
title, what it was?
Nope, I have no idea. And they shot it on 3 iPhones. On harnesses. They had harnesses, and they shot this on 3 iPhones. We shot it. The kid that was the director and the writer of this little film, it was a short film, but it was a vertical. We shot it in one of his dad's real estate offices. Didn't have a bus or a set or to go anywhere. So we shot a lot of it in this office, and then we shot a lot of it on the street, just guerrilla style stuff. We did a bunch of stuff outside. And they didn't have any permits. They had nothing. We were just running around shooting this thing. And we only shot for like 3 days, and that was it. And the film was done. And
was there any now also vertical star in it already? I'm just looking it up on IMDb.
Nope. I don't even know if they got that. I don't even think that got put up on IMDb. I don't know. I don't think.
Beauty, perfect love.
The first person that I know I remember working with that is a vertical star today, early on, was Candace Mizna from Shara TV. Yeah.
Shara TV, yeah.
I worked with Candace. I played her dad in one of my early verticals that I did.
Yeah, and I see you played in an early vertical with Kira Wisely and Ryan Watson Henderson also.
Yes.
Oops.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And already the shit title starting with oops.
Yeah.
Oops, I married a CEO by mistake. Here we go with this great.
Yeah.
Ha. So what were your thoughts after the first verticals?
Just look how far it's gone. I mean, the verticals from that moment to go to where it is today, and to only understand it's only been 3 years. That is nothing. It's been 3 years, and it's gone on a trajectory that is almost straight up. It's almost a vertical trajectory.
I entered the vertical space in summer 2023, and I have watched nearly 2,000 till now.
Jeez. That's a lot of time.
I'm deep in this shit.
Do you have any other kind of a life?
Yeah. I'm a lecturer at university for business informatics. I'm a studied business informatics lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what you do? All right.
Yeah, so but that's the reason I cannot watch this professor vertical shit. Sorry for saying that.
Yeah.
It's so unrealistic. If you are a professor at the university and you see this professor vertical, simply no.
I get it. I get it.
No, so but the thing is, what?
So you've seen a lot of change, like I have. You've grown up with it. You've lived it, and what's going to happen next?
In my opinion, 2020 sick. I mean, I'm doing a monthly recap with the big review ladies. You know, Megan from Real Drama, Dahlia from Vertical Films Lover. So we are meeting up every month for the podcast and talking about the recent month and the vertical stuff which dropped. And so we started that right when I started this podcast 9 months ago. So even in this last 9 months, there were so many changes, as we all know lately with the AI stuff, or last year with the bunch of dropping new platforms. You know, when I started watching verticals, there were the big platforms like Real Short, Dramabox, Flare Flow, Good Short, and Shortmax. That's it. And now we have more than 300 platforms.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, what I think,
don't forget one of the early ones, Pocket FM. Remember Pocket FM?
Yeah, true.
They were out there before almost anybody. They were almost one of the first ones, because that's one of my first memorable verticals was with Pocket FM.
Are they still releasing?
No, they're not. No, they aren't doing anything. No.
Yeah. No, because my first vertical I ever saw was the Double Life of My Billionaire Husband, the classic one with Jared Harper and Molly Anderson in it and stuff. Yep. And, you know, I'm doing also episodes with fans. And every time I'm asking them, okay, how did you end the vertical space? It's 99% over an advertising of Real Short. Mostly the first membership a lot of people have is a Real Short membership, because the marketing department of Real Short works very well in that case. So they trapped all of us. But in my opinion, you know, here in Germany, verticals are not so common. Here in Europe, the market haven't grown so big, actually.
You mean as far as the fan market goes?
Both. They started shooting the first verticals here in Germany a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, German verticals, German spoken. It's a production company 2 hours from here in the Black Forest. But they are now shooting also English spoken verticals, and they will release their own platform. It doesn't like we have enough platforms, but okay. So the vertical market here in Germany develops very slowly and started at the beginning of this year. Your first time you can, in Munich, for example, there is kind of networking for verticals and stuff like that, but it's not so. A lot of people, because I did some acting stuff and TV stuff here too, so let's say a few people know me here in Germany. And when they heard that I started a second podcast, I have another one in German since 5 years, they said, what's the second podcast about? Is it about a movie, or what are you talking about? And I said, no, it's not about a movie. It's a new type of film industry. And so you see that a lot of people don't even know what verticals are here in Germany. Nope. And the stuff, what will happen maybe late this year or at the beginning of next year is that the shootings would get more in Europe, because it's getting more and more cheaper shooting here in Europe than shooting in LA or somewhere else. So, and as you know, when you have been in Germany, Germany is the country of castles. You know, period pieces and stuff you can shoot here so perfectly, to be honest. Beautiful. And also, I spoke with Roberta Sparta. She shot in Italy. Italy is very beautiful in landscapes and the sea. And so the verticals all done in Istanbul for drama pops are so good in quality, really so good in quality, or the Ukrainian one on my drama. So in my opinion, Europe gets more and more attractive to shoot here. And because of that, I think that the audience will grow, because they are more or nearer to it, like they have been the last 2 years. And I'm in contact with a few production companies, and you know, Candy Jar is based in Germany. So,
they are? Oh, I didn't know they were based in
Berlin. In Berlin. In Berlin.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, the change that happens actually, it will swap a bit more over to Europe, in my opinion, because you can produce with the same budget a bit better quality and more, like you actually can in LA or somewhere else. So I'm hoping that we get a bit more quality in it and a bit more kind of new storylines because of the new location possibilities you have here. So
I'm hoping Norway and Sweden pop into this mix. That would be, that'd be pretty cool.
I would love to shoot a vertical
Ireland,
in Scotland, to be honest, in the Highlands. Hello?
Well, I've got one of my very best friends in life has a castle in Scotland. Literally.
You know, I was thinking about, let me tell you my plan.
Scotland would be unbelievable.
Yeah, I have a plan. Developed with a lot of actors, for example, Kirby Elwood, Robert Palmer Watkins and stuff. We have here in Europe a lottery, the European lottery, which is around about 120 million euros. So, and I will win that. And Scotty Mullen told me, because he wrote the script for this great pirate vertical, I asked him when I recorded if he would write a vertical or 2 or 3 for me. He said, yeah, no problem. And Dylan Vox told me, yeah, I will direct it. I'm what Dylan Vox called himself the James Cameron of low budget. And he said, yeah, you have to give me this and that budget, then we can do. And I want to do a serial one, a mystery criminal one, with 2 leads, detective ones. And in every country, 6 different European countries, they have to solve a criminal case. No billionaire needed, that shit. But how great would it be to shoot a criminal vertical in the Scottish Highlands with all the fog and the mysterious...
Oh, man.
Hello? That's so good.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great.
And in Germany, we can do it in the Christmas market location. All people are happy.
Yes.
And then there is a mystery criminal case.
Yeah, then there's a criminal case that happens. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That would be...
You are in? Are you in?
Well, I'm in. I'm in. As long as I get to have some glühwein and a potato pancake, I'm good.
No problem. No problem. No, because I think it's really attractive to shoot here in Europe, actually.
Oh, my God. Beautiful.
Because as I said, the smaller platforms, My Drama, Drama Pops, the quality is so good.
Yeah. Well, the quality, I mean, as far as this whole ecosystem, the whole landscape, it's getting, we laugh about the fact that this is up to 200 and maybe 300 platforms that are now out there doing vertical films. But I think that what's going to change that whole thing is that a lot of these new independent platforms, the Share TVs, the Knockout Shorts, the VU, MU Picks, these guys that are creating their own platforms, all the Versa TV, anybody that's doing their own platforms are going to be elevating. They're going to be elevating what those tropes are, because I'm really tired, like a lot of us are, of these dumb tropes of the billionaire, got
I got pregnant. The hidden heiress, the stepbrother, whatever. Right. I can tell you.
So but there's things like, Scott Brown directed this called Playback. Have you seen Playback? Did you watch Playback yet? It's
Tell me, please, the cast. Amazing. I'm so bad in memorizing the title.
Royce Lundquist is in Playback. You know Royce?
No.
Maybe you don't. I love Royce. He's one of my favorite guys. I've worked with him 3 or 4 times. Royce Lundquist. He was just in the Share TV one that's out now called To Her Beat. Yeah. Which is a dance vertical. It's almost like got a chorus line vibe to it. If you remember Chorus Line from Broadway. That's what To Her Beat is. And To Her Beat is so cinematically beautiful, and it has just got a vibe that is really, really special. And
have you seen the pirate one on My Drama with Nick Ritacco and Emma Reinagel in it?
Emma, yep.
Oh,
and I've had
holy
both
crap.
Nick and Emma on. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
It is.
I love that. And who directed that?
Dylan Vox.
Was that Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan directed
Scotty
that. That's
Mullen
right.
wrote
Yeah,
the script and Dylan Vox
that's right.
directed it. And I recorded an episode. I did 5 episodes to promote. You know, I did a Pirate Week on the podcast. One day I talked with Nick, one day with Emma, one day with Dylan, one day with Scotty, and one day with Amy Kazaza. She's head
Wow.
of hair, makeup, and special effects. So I
Okay.
talked to a lot of people involved in it. No, because I was so curious. I asked Dylan how this is possible with the same budget, make something so much cinematic one. And then you see some other verticals, you know, full of the classic trope shit. Sorry for saying that.
But that's true. It's true.
You know,
It's real.
and that's why I'm asking why are you wasting still money on this trope shit in this every time in the same mansion, every time in the same locations when you have such a great example filming out on sea on a great ship, a never seen location with the dungeon and castle in it, and a storyline that doesn't need a banquet scene, a
Right.
billionaire, whatever, and it's so good to watch.
You mean it didn't have a wedding and it didn't have a banquet
No, and no
it
one
didn't-
gets pregnant and no hospital scenes.
and nobody got pregnant? No hospital. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's the same way that To Her Beat, or even this new one that they just put out called Ashton Heights
Yeah.
from Share TV that looks really good. So
Yeah, and that's
some of
and
that.
that's-
So where I'm going with that is I really think that the independent platforms are going to be the ones that are really going to change the game. I
yeah,
think
because they
they're
are always
gonna-
willing to take risks, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. You just took the word. It's called risk. And in order to move forward in this vertical entertainment world, we need to be taking risks. We
Yeah.
need to take a risk that a comedy is going to work. We need to take a risk that some kind of a thriller is going to work, or
It's
a
also
horror
a
film is gonna
Western
work.
one, you know.
Yeah, well, look, it's also the challenge is, I don't know about your podcast. I know about my podcast, and my podcast, we just did the analytics. The Vertical Buzz has only been up and running not even 90 days. We've been on the air. We're 16 episodes in and we're doing really well. The thing is really flying. But when I look at my analytics, particularly the analytics off YouTube, 77% of my audience is female. And then they are the female that ranges in age from 40 to 59, which is very consistent with
Yeah.
what goes on in vertical film. It's
Yeah,
that
true.
same demographic. So my challenge is to get broader audience. I want men. I want younger. I want all of that to happen. But the only way to do that, it's not going to happen if all they produce is "Oops, the billionaire got pregnant" or any.
We need action ones, like James
because-
Bond style, or whatever
yes,
the male ones
exactly.
like to see.
Yes, because as a guy, I don't give a shit about "Oops, the billionaire got pregnant." I just don't. I
You
don't
don't want to
care.
watch the Cinderella fairy tale story? No,
That's not interesting to me. So once they start doing sports and reality and thriller and all these other
action
things,
ones. Richard Sherrod
action.
told
I
me he
want
wants to
action.
do Mission Impossible action
yes,
style.
I 100% agree. It's that kind of risk and that kind of movement and vibe that we need to create in this
My
space.
drama recently published the first Formula One vertical.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I was just in the one I just completed. My 39th was with Drama With. I just did one called Offside, which is a soccer. We did a soccer
Okay,
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really good. It's with Jared Staub and Tess Dinnerstein.
Dynasty, yeah.
With with Tess and Jared, and it's really good. And in fact, Thomas Pallier, the German guy, is a director.
Okay.
Do you know Thomas?
Yeah,
Have you ever
yeah.
spoken to Thomas? Yep,
Not
he's
spoken
great.
to him, but I know him, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's big with Frankfurt because he's all about the Bundesliga.
But let me tell you, this
one.
one, my favorite soccer club was before Frankfurt in the and my soccer club qualified for the International Europe League and Frankfurt didn't because my club was a bit, let's say we have a difficult relationship actually because of the soccer.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, no, the thing is, when you said my podcast is now up 9 months, on the 6th of June, the 100th episode releases. So I'm a bit bunch ahead of you. And when I started this podcast, I did it with this intention. As I said, I did some acting stuff too. So for me, it's totally interesting to get a lot of different point of views in this industry. That's why I'm talking to directors, actors, fans, audience people, intimacy coordinators. I talk to script supervisors, to everyone in any kind involved in this system. And my range of the audience, I see what the people really love is this monthly recap I'm doing. And I know that a lot of people from the industry are also listening to it because it was a theme on the vertical drama market 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. They spoke in a panel about the recaps already. So I wasn't there, but I was told that I was verbal there. And I said, okay, fine. No, because, from the audience side, you don't get really, let's say, reviews when vertical is not good. The mostly published reviews on Instagram or stuff like that are published if they are hitting, let's say, a 3.5 out of 5 minimum in rating. No one is talking about verticals they dropped off and why they dropped off. And in my monthly recaps, we talk about, as I said, the recent month and the verticals and what happened in the vertical scene. And we speak about the actor-actress of the month, a side role of the month, because in my opinion, a lot of side role actors are totally underrated in the radar. They did such a great job in so many verticals. But we also talk about the app of the month, which app attracts us to watch and why. And we are talking also about the crap of the month. How many pull-offs we had. For example, our average from every person roundabout is 60 verticals per month. So, and I can tell you, I drop off minimum 10% every month. I don't finish because I'm not willing to waste my time on a show which doesn't entertain me, which is such an annoying storyline or whatever. So by
the time you decide not to watch it anymore, you've already spent $30, $35.
Yeah, that's right? It. Yeah, mostly. Okay, I have some platforms yearly memberships. So the drop-offs are, it is what it is.
Yep.
But for example, that's actually a problem on Shara TV. Shara TV doesn't offer a membership so that you can watch unlimited. You have to pay per show.
Right. Not yet. Right.
You have to pay per show. And when they start the app, they didn't even have a paywall. You have to pay from the first episode on. So that was a bit tricky because I cannot decide, do I want to watch this whole show? Yes or no. Attracts me the storyline? Yes or no. And you already had to pay $15 for it to even start watching it. And when you are watching 50, 60 shows per week, you can imagine how expensive that would be if you have to pay for every show. I get it that you can rewatch it, whatever, that's the thing. But if I don't even know if I'm attracted to this show, I'm not willing to pay $15 to start watching something where I don't even know if I will finish it or not. Right. So this type of concept is a bit difficult for the audience, actually. Now they have a paywall. They changed that so that you have the chance to watch a bit. But to pay per every show...
Shara TV changed it to a paywall?
Yeah. They have a paywall since a few weeks. But to pay per show... for an audience like I am and my review ladies watching 60, 70 shows per week, not affordable.
No, I mean, not for anybody. I don't care who you are. That's because I know that I've watched a few. I haven't watched that many all the way through, but if I watch them, I mean, I go by the deal that if I have to spend $20 or $30, that's a lot. It's like just to watch one movie. Come on, it's $10 a month to have Amazon Prime, $12.99, and I can watch movies every day. I can watch them. It's like, wow, that's crazy. So it's a little bit wanky for me to keep paying this paywall.
And with this bunch of platforms, every time when you see an advertising, a new platform again, and you want to see just this one show, and then you have to purchase a membership if you want to watch it. That's let's say critical for the audience, and it's a really expensive hobby actually to watch.
Well, you know what? You can subscribe to and you can subscribe to the Vertical Buzz, and it costs you nothing.
That's
costs you nothing. You can watch my
our
show
podcasts are totally for free. And
for free.
And that's what I said from the beginning.
Right.
I want that everyone has the opportunity to get informed or listening what's happening in space.
That's
I don't want to make money out of it, because for me, it's more that I want to share what I get to know about this space so that everyone can maybe get more informed or maybe get involved in a different way to do it. But actually it's a bit problem. But in the other way, with these 300 platforms, round about 50, 60 shows per week or even more get published. I cannot watch so many shows per week. So for me, it would be much better if there would be less platforms.
Yes. Well, I think that this year and next year, I think there's going to be a lot of attrition. Yeah. There's going to be a bunch of people. Yeah, hopefully there'll be a bunch of people falling off. Not hopefully. Or what's going to happen too, just like on the normal cable TV stuff, people started absorbing everybody. So, there might be somebody like Real Short all of a sudden decides, I'm going to take on, and I'll buy these 3 platforms that are doing really well. So there's going to be, I think, some of that. I think there'll be some.
It has to.
Some of the bigger ones will start taking on some of the other people. But I do think that these independent ones are interesting if they can figure out the right formula to make it not so expensive, and to give you the whole concept of Share TV was give you great cinematic quality vertical filming at a better price and a better way to watch it. Yeah. And like you said, they're finding out very early on that this no paywall thing was a little bit of an issue, which everybody talked about. Everybody was like, are you sure people are going to buy in on this? It's like, well, I guess they didn't right away. So now they've got to figure it out.
And I'm hoping that they change this membership or buying show a bit, that you can choose if you want to buy a show or purchase membership,
Right.
Because when they started their marketing before the platform release, they were talking about doing memberships. They even had they even did a giveaway with memberships.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, for example, Candy Jar. I really prefer watching stuff on Candy Jar or Drama Pops.
Why?
Candy Jar, every story they publish is based on a book. So the storylines are much better. You won't find a banquet scene in a Candy Jar vertical. You won't, this classic abusive vertical trope shit. You won't find in any Candy Jar show.
Hey, you know what? I got to tell you a quick story, which is kind of on the last vertical that I did. And I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say what it was. But in my script, when I got my script, I remember reading it early on and there's a moment in there where I have to slap not slap. I have to raise my hand to slap my daughter. And I had done this in past verticals. But I finally spoke up on this one, and I said to the director and the EP, I said, there is a better way to do this. I don't have to do that. Yeah. I can just get forceful. I can get a little bit angry, but there's
Yeah.
no reason that I have to be doing this to my daughter on camera. And they bought it and said, okay.
They were
let's not
fine
do
with it?
Yep,
Yeah.
they were fine.
Yeah,
And
that's
I didn't
good.
have to do
That's
it.
good.
Yeah, I was happy. I mean, because I get really tired of that. It really
Yeah, it
bothers
is.
me.
It is.
bothers me.
And that's why I, for example, love watching shows on Drama Pops or Candy Jar, because in these storylines, the storylines are so much better in quality, or my drama, it doesn't matter. And on Candy Jar, you won't find this classic super duper hospital scenes where they beaten up a woman until she's miscarriaging, or,
I know.
all this trigger stuff.
Well, the worst one that got me recently was that I saw a vertical clip where they literally put a gun, a fake gun, but this kid was 7 years old, and they put a gun to this 7-year-old's head, saying, "Oh, if you do this, I will, take." And I'm like, "What? You can't." I don't care if that's
How far did we get?
I don't care if that's a 7-year-old kid with a fake gun. You don't do that. I mean,
there were verticals.
What I was really surprised at was that the mom, who's there on set, didn't say something and go, "Wait a minute, hold on, you're not going to hold that."
There
gun
have been other vertical storylines we spoke about in the recap. There was one vertical with a disabled person in it.
Yeah.
And they run this disabled person in the vertical mostly of the time on a leash and bullied it. There was another vertical where I think it was an 8-year-old child actor who has to slap the maid 40 episodes. Every episode he had to slap an adult, and his vertical father was sitting next on the table eating his breakfast, and he didn't even get discipline for slapping the maid, which turned out later to be the mom of him. There was one vertical where you saw that they were murdering a dog on camera. You see how they abused a pet in a vertical and murdered it.
Wow.
And these are reasons where I said, what the heck happened? And no one can tell me that this type of storylines is needed for the shock value, because when I started watching verticals, like The Double Life of My Billionaire Husband or The Breaking Ice or what the storylines were in 20, they were all big hits and did so well. Yeah. And they weren't even half or quarter of the slaps and the abusive in the storylines, and they did well also. So no one can tell me that this type of shock value is needed to get the numbers.
Yep.
No. So, in my opinion, last year, the qualities of the vertical got really less in a lot of verticals. The storylines got so exhausting, even for the actors I spoke with. Everyone is saying, listen, I cannot do this shit anymore in storylines. We need fresh stories. So I'm hoping. Okay, but to be honest, I'm not sure actually, because of the AI stuff, what's going on now in the verticals. So I'm hoping that this type of AI, the problem with the AI stuff is actually, as the audience, you cannot see before starting if it's an AI created vertical or if it's a real vertical.
Well, I think at this point, with the quality of where AI is right now, I think especially when you're creating humans, you can tell after a few minutes of watching. But
that's already a clickbait for the platform. That's the problem, that's the problem. They are saying we get the numbers, the people watch it.
Yep.
But they don't count how long the people watch it or when they are dropping out. Right. And that's a problem.
That
actually.
Is. I agree.
So
I agree.
I have a question.
Yep.
What keeps you so attracted doing verticals?
Because I enjoy the space. I enjoy being part of something that is a new format in entertainment, because I think that what verticals have all that verticals have done, or not all, but one of the things that verticals has done very well is created a new lane of entertainment. And in doing that, because we spend so much time on our phones. So that this is, they're watching everything on your phone, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we might as well make something so that you do that. And it's created a lot of job. The whole lane has created a new entertainment format.
Yeah.
And by creating that, it's you got radio, you got podcast, you got TV, you got film, you got all these other things. Now all of a sudden there's this vertical entertainment lane that's been created, and it's creating more jobs for people. It's creating all of there's a lot of positives that vertical filmmaking has created. And that's what I'm all over, is the fact that I'm part of something new, fun, different, evolving. And it's only going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
And
Have you shot all your verticals in LA or somewhere else?
Yes. I've been asked, that's a whole nother story for another day. I've been offered China several times, and I have no desire to go to, when I was in my sales world, I traveled to China and Korea quite often because I had factories that I was working with there, just like I had factories in Germany and I had factories in England and all that. So I had no desire to go to China because I could care less about traveling there. But I mean, if you want the real story, here's the real story. First of all, I didn't. In fact, my only issue right now is I've kind of got a hard out. I've got to be somewhere at like noon. So if we're coming up on a wrap here. So I got asked to go to China, and the first time I got asked, this guy said, "Oh, we leave next week." This was on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, and we're going to be traveling next week. And I said, wait a minute, you're going to get me a visa in a week? Yeah. How are you going to do that? He goes, well, we're going to put you on a tourist visa. I go, but I'm not over there as a tourist. I'm working. And he goes, I know, but you can get away with being on a tourist visa. I go, no, I'm not going to go over there and have somebody catch me. That's the last thing that I need to go to jail
for a vertical.
It's like, no, I'm not doing that. So that's really why I've not gone, because I've been asked 3 times.
What about going to Europe for a vertical?
Well, I would love that. Are you kidding me? I'd love to go to Europe.
No, I'm just asking because I'm getting more and more involved with the European production companies, so I'm a bit listening to everyone who wants to join maybe for Europe shootings.
I would be all over shooting in Germany or anywhere in Europe. I mean, that would be great.
Okay, that's noticed.
I would love that.
On the end of every episode, I'm asking a 5-question quickie. 5 quick questions, 5 quick answers.
Yep.
What's your favorite dish to eat?
Pizza.
Okay, big question. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
Yes. and Canadian bacon.
You have been very sympathetic to me, but that's gone now. Okay. Okay. Do you have any type of comfort movie? A movie childhood movie or something you love to rewatch?
Okay. Dances with Wolves.
With Kevin Costner.
That's
my favorite movie is from Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams, by the way.
Oh, Field of Dreams that's my second one. Those 2 movies, I will watch those anytime.
Yeah, these are really for comfort. And what's your type of music you love to listen?
Country music.
It's not so up here in Germany, the country music.
Well, my daughter is a country music singer-songwriter.
I saw this.
In Nashville, yeah.
I don't know how I saw this one. Maybe in one of your storylines or something?
Maybe she was on American Idol. She came in 7th a couple of years ago. Her career's, she's really talented. She's a very talented person.
Is it from you, this talent, or where did she get that?
Of course, she didn't get it from her mother.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Just asking. Maybe you are a hidden music star who needs a musical vertical or stuff. I don't know.
And she's a very high level soccer player. She played soccer at Cal at Berkeley, at the University of California, Berkeley. And one of her teammates, her freshman year, was Alex Morgan, if you know that name, Alex Morgan.
Yeah, I played soccer in my youth until all my bones were nearly broken, and then
Oh, yep.
Yeah, doesn't work out for me.
No worries. All right.
So, last two questions. If everyone would come to you and say, Buzz, listen, I've never watched any verticals. Which one of yours should I definitely have watched?
To Her Beat.
Do you
On
know which
Share
platform?
TV.
Share
Share TV, To Her Beat. It's either To Her Beat or Love, Lies, and Alibis. And I'm trying to remember.
Love, Lies, and Alibis on Viglu with Robert Palmer, Watkins, and Grace Swanson.
Yes.
I love this one.
Yes, that's a good one. I'm in that. I love that film.
It's kind of criminal case, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was fun
I
to shoot.
love this, but it was the only one. There have never been any similar to
No,
this.
it was good. It was good. I liked it. And Viglu was fun to work with. I've worked with them several times.
That was so good.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was really good. Last
Thank
question. Which genre you want to see more on you in verticals?
I want to see more comedy, and I want to see more thriller. Thriller. Yeah, thriller. Thriller and comedy are my two.
And which role would you play in it?
Oh, man.
In a thriller?
In a thriller?
Murderer or police or detective
I would be more the detective, not the murderer guy. I'm more of a detective.
The smart detective one?
Yeah, much more.
Okay, makes sense.
I've only been able to. I played a CIA agent once in a vertical. That was fun to play. That was.
I would love to see more Western. I could imagine you great as a sheriff, to be honest. An old Western one and a sheriff. Can you ride a horse?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can.
Okay, then you would be up for a
Western
sheriff one.
Would be good.
You know, kidnapping and raping make that totally sense.
Yep.
So yeah,
we
will see what happens in this year,
right.
Buzz. I thank you so much for your time to from podcast to podcast. You know.
Yep. There we go.
And I wish you all the best, and I'm sure we will cross our ways.
We will.
Maybe I will made it to LA one day. We will see.
That would be great. There's a lot of big events coming up in the next several months. So
I know, but you know it's not so near Germany.
I know. I get it.
So,
I get it.
We will see.
Thank you for having me on.
Day.
This was a real pleasure to be here and chat with you. And go get them.
Stay in contact.
I will.
Thank you, Buzz. All the best for you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
This is a wrap on this episode, and I hope you tune in again.